Now then, under this discussion about hazardous communication and SDSs, OSHA is strictly enforcing this law in regard to your right to be educated or your right to know about chemicals that you may be handling in the workplace. Now, compliance officers may come along and want to interview employees to determine if they've been satisfactorily trained under this standard. So then, having said that, there's a couple of things you need to realize. If you have this question put to you by someone, and it may not be an occupational safety and health officer, it could be a general contractor. One of the jobs that we did a few years ago, not far from here, stipulated that unless you had GHS training, a global harmonization training or HAZCOM training, that you would not be permitted to work on their site. So they would go around and they would ask this question. So this happened a few years ago. When a occupational safety and health official comes on site, if they approach you, there's 2 or 3 things that you need to know. First of all, if they say, I'm from occupational safety and health, I'm from OSHA, the first thing that you should say to them is, may I see your credentials, please? They should show you a badge and a government-issued identification card. Now, the next thing that you should say is, do not continue with your opening until I've contacted management. Remember that, because it's very important. What you don't say is, yeah, what do you want? When you say to them, do not continue with your opening, then they have to stop. And so you can then go contact your foreman. The reason this is important is that immediately you need to refer to your foreman and let him know that occupational safety and health is here. He may contact the office. There's various things that may happen next, but do not continue with your opening until I've contacted management. Now then, having said that, you have some rights that you need to be aware of in relation to occupational safety and health. For example, as a company, we cannot prohibit you from talking to occupational safety and health officers. It is your right to do so. As an employee, you have the right to talk to them if you so desire. Having said that, you have the right, secondly, not to talk to them. So it is your right to talk to them. It is your right not to talk to them. Also, if you make the decision that you are prepared to talk to them, you do have the right to have someone sit with you. Now, we have a company with whom we have a business relationship. We will call them. If you want to talk to occupational safety and health, but you want to have someone sit with you, we will call them. Within the metropolitan area where we are, they have 1 hour to respond. If under the circumstances you are outside of the metropolitan area, then they have 2 hours to respond. So they have to wait until those people that you have asked for come and sit with you. So you need to be aware of that, so that will be fixed in your mind. First of all, may I see your credentials, please? Secondly, do not continue with your opening until I've contacted management. Third, those 3 rights. You have the right to talk to occupational safety and health. You have the right not to talk to them. If you do decide to talk to them, you have the right to have someone to sit there and counsel with you and help you with your answers. So those are things I want to bring to your attention for the minute. And we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the questions they will ask you here in just a little bit.